It's time now for Mark Meets, in which I speak to the biggest names in the world of politics, showbiz, sport, business and beyond. Tonight, Adrian Hayes, British record-breaking explorer and adventurer, best known for reaching the 3 extreme points of the Earth, the 3 Poles Challenge, which involved walking all the way to the North Pole, the South Pole and summiting Mount Everest, all in the shortest period of time, 1 year and 217 days. That was his first Guinness World Record. It was to be the first of many death-defying adventures, as well as a career in business. He's had a glittering military career too, spending 2 years in 21 SAS and 8 years serving as an officer in the Brigade of Gurkhas in Hong Kong, Brunei and Oman. Following one failed attempt, he reached the top of K2 in 2014, the world's second highest mountain, making him just the 8th Briton to reach that famous summit. It was documented in his book, One Man's Climb, a journey of trauma, tragedy and triumph on K2, which became an instant bestseller. Well, there's another one on the way, and I'm delighted to say that renowned record-breaking adventurer, the wonderful Adrian Hayes, joins me now. Hi, Adrian.
Good evening, Mark. Good evening to all your viewers.
Great to have you on the programme. Are you brave or reckless?
Neither. I think there's a quote I love: courage isn't the absence of fear, rather the willingness to face it. So I think that sort of sums it up. Yeah, look, we've all got our own comfort zones, our own risk thresholds. I'm prepared to do more risks than most people, but there's some things that some extreme guys do that I wouldn't even touch because it's that daft and that stupid and that risky.
By the standards of the rest of us, though, you are a truly heroic figure. Have you faced death at any point during these adventures?
Yeah, a few times, actually. I do dislike heroic and all that sort of things, Mark. I'm sorry. But, no, I have faced it. And what's funny is this eerie calm came over me both times I had it. That, right, we've got the equipment, we've got the strength, we've got the skills, got things to get out of this situation. I won't go into what it was. But, yeah, it's a very interesting sort of...
So it might... There are 2 occasions in your life as an adventurer, when it might not have gone your way, is that right?
Yes, I can remember 2 at least. There's some other pretty.
And what happens when you when you finally get your head down that night in the tent and you realise you've cheated death and you've got away with it? Do you get flashbacks? Do you have trouble sleeping?
No, I think because life and death can be the difference, that missed flight that you don't make, or the difference between 5 seconds on a car. I think it's a lottery, and you just sort of say, well, we were fine, but sadly, some other people don't get so lucky. And
what does that do to you emotionally and also psychologically when you see others perish when you've got away with it? I
feel very, very sorry for them, very sorry for the families. It's particularly in the mountains. There's a quote saying, they die doing what they love doing, but it's very, very. It is a selfish sport, these adventures, particularly if you've got children. I think it's with the children. Stakes do change the dynamics.
And you have to look after number one. I mean, there's teamwork, but there's also self-preservation, surely.
There is, but I think, we learned in the military the buddy-buddy system is sacrosanct. And my teammate I did K2 with both years, I mean, I've got a trust with him like this, Canadian guy, and just because we know each other inside out. And it's that knowing, that trust, without having to look behind you, that trust that he has your back, and vice versa, whatever happens, that's critical.
OK. What about extreme conditions, such as very low temperatures? How have you coped with those over the years? I don't like being, if I'm at home watching telly, and, I like to have the radiator on behind me. With Mrs. Dolan's not very happy about that.
Well, I could tell, I don't feel the cold as much as most people, but I feel the heat more than anyone in this world. I had heat exhaustion 5 times when I lived in Dubai over adventure races and Ironman, all these things.
And how does heat exhaustion manifest itself?
Well, it just means that when you get... Your body's quite sensible, because it basically says, right, I'm not going to let you do this again. I'm going to make you feel absolutely awful the next time you go put yourself too much into danger in this heat. So I just feel awful. So I'm hot. I shouldn't want this long sleeve shirt tonight, but I'm pretty hot right now. But... yeah, I do suffer more than anyone in the world, I expect.
I guess we've all got our weak spot, haven't we? Was there anything in your upbringing that might have given us a clue that this is what you'd now be doing?
Well, I wrote down aged 13, I wrote down what I called my plans. And I had these stupid ideas. It was be a polar explorer, climb Everest.
Because I just interrupting you, I wanted to be a fire engine. So your plan sounded like a better one.
Well, yeah, and I wrote these things down. And my two brothers thought I was stupid. But they all basically came true. Some took a few years later to come to fruition. But yeah, so I suppose that's something to do with it. Maybe being a middle child's got something to do with it as well.
You want to make your mark and be noticed.
Yeah, that's just something you're overlooked, unloved, and all these things. But we were busy running.
I'll show you, Mum and Dad.
Yeah, well, we were busy running a hotel in the New Forest, so Mum and Dad were too busy 24/7 doing that. But no, I think that was the biggest thing, just writing them down at 13. And then I did them again at 16 and 19, and they all sort of, as I said, came true over the years.
Now, I know you don't like to glorify this idea of heroic because it was your choice to do these adventures. However, there is courage. You've got balls, haven't you? So where does that come from?
I think the more in life, look, you can live your life, and it's something very topical that I speak and write about and everything. We can live our lives in this sanitized, safety-first, safety-obsessed comfort zone. And that'll work, provided nothing goes wrong. But the more you expose yourself to challenges, to risks, the discomfort, all these things that our parents and our forebearers did, the better able you are to cope with when challenges happen. And I think that's all it is. It's just stepping out the comfort zone all the time, ever since I was 16 when I left school with 5 measly GCSEs and then travelling around the world and adventuring and just testing yourself. And so when things go wrong, everyone else is panicking. You're just in much more reasonable, logical, critical thinking, rational, calm state of mind. So I think that, is quite important.
Well, that's what's so brilliant about your keynote speeches, about your broadcasting, about the books that you write, your TV and radio appearances, is now that you're imparting your experience, your knowledge, your mentality on the rest of us. And we can all learn. The great thing is I don't have to go up K2. I can just read your books and listen to your advice in terms of what that journey says about all of our lives and what we all need to do.
Yeah, and particularly when I got into the coaching development world 20-odd years ago, that really changed my life because it's putting all these tools and techniques and lessons and learnings into your own life as well as the
because you've been there and done it. I mean, people that have been close to the edge, they're the ones who they have the experience, the intel, which they can share with the rest of us. So we need nutters like you, so we can all learn about psychology, don't you think?
Yeah, I think I'm a lay psychologist. I said left school with 5 GCSEs, but I've learned through different things in all walks of life. I've been in business and military and expeditions and coaching development. So it's this, I'm like a sponge. It's that Kaizen, that Japanese term of constant development, always learning. That's why I love people so much. You always learn from people. You take tips from them and get some ideas.
I saw this great video of this self-help guru, Jim Crone, who sort of was a great writer in I think, the 50s and 60s. And he said, don't work hard on your job, work hard on yourself. And a big focus on self-development, which is a big theme of your work.
It is. It's a constant, forever striving to be the best I can possibly be, or the pursuit of excellence. And I think this is the authenticity that I like to do when I go back to the mountains or other ventures. It's that authentic self. It's not for the selfie and all the recognition and the fame and all the name and all that side of things. It's hopefully an authentic
And what you do is every time you do something hard, you know that you're growing yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. There's, and every business, every great coach, every business leader said they learned more from their mistakes than they did their successes, which is obvious. There's a great thing. Every circumstance, virtually everything we go through, apart from the most tragic circumstances, Archie Batterjee for one, but most other things we go through, there's a gift, there's a learning, there's a lesson, there's some jewel in that, whatever happens to us. That's why I approach life in that lens.
You've done these, and you're so humble because you said, look, rewrite the intro, stop calling me an Arctic explorer, but you've done these amazing challenges. You're a record-breaking adventurer. Are you afraid of anything?
Probably being an old man on my own. Probably, yeah. Look, it's just very. That's many years away. But perhaps loneliness. It's a very interesting thing because it does touch a deep chord with a lot of people. Every Christmas, everything I hear, like there's 5,000 people will be on their own at Christmas. I think why is this? So I'll do whatever I can to avoid that.
I think that's a really, really important theme, and lots of people were lonely in the pandemic. And We had a culture of fear during the pandemic. I would suggest encouraged by a lot of establishment media. We were, I think, taught by the state to be afraid. And I think it'll take a long time to undo that, don't you think? And
this is where I think we've got to go, what I said earlier about this sanitized, safety-first culture. We've had it so good, frankly, the last few decades, and then something came wrong, and it was a nasty virus. But we've gone into this fear, this panic, this hysteria, which I think a logical, rational, critical thinking perspective on a lot of the challenges, whether it's COVID, whether it's climate change or anything else, you do that perspective rather than the panic and the hysteria and all this side of things, we'll get a much better solution at the end of it.
Before I let you go, if there are people watching that are going through a tough time, maybe they're just in a rut in their lives and they want their life to change, what would be those baby steps that you might suggest they should go for?
First step, get into nature. You don't have to climb K2, but get into the woods, the forests. I live in the New Forest. That's fantastic for me. But just nature has all the answers. You just get these insights. Looking up the sky, you get these things there. And the second thing is there will be a lesson, a gift in this. It may not be obvious for another week, a month, a year. It may take 5 years. But the hardships and the challenges I've faced, sometimes 5 years back, I go, that was a lesson on that one. There will be. You just got to open your eyes and your antennas to sort of receive it.
And basically welcome peril, welcome danger, welcome discomfort. Get out of that comfort zone. If there's something you're afraid to do, such as ask the boss for a pay rise, just go and bloody do it.
Just say it.
Yeah, or that pretty girl at the party, or boy.
And people said to me tonight, I was dinner with some friends, said, are you nervous about coming? Not at all. It's Mark Dolan. He's a friendly guy, and it's a
Well, listen, I'm a big fan of yours. How can people find out more about what you do? Obviously, the book's out, and there's another one coming.
Yeah, I'm in the process of writing that, but the society's so up and down, we've put it slightly on hold. But
look, I'm looking forward to your next tome. The last one made a real splash. So how can people tap into
AdrianHayes.com, my name.
And that will do it. Listen, a thrill to meet you. Will you come back and do the panel?
I'm delighted to.
You do a bit of politics as well, right?
I love it.
You're not afraid of anything. The remarkable, the very inspiring Adrian Hayes, whose book is called One Man's Climb, A Journey of Trauma, Tragedy and Triumph on K2. Do check it out and you'll find it doubles up as quite a great self-help book as well.